First, let's look at the cells that we find in bone tissue. Osteogenic cells are a type of stem cell that are in the linings, either the periosteum or the endosteum, that could become osteoblasts when needed. And osteoblasts are bone-forming cells. Here's an osteoblast. It secretes matrix, bone matrix, which we call osteoid, in order to develop the extracellular space of bone. The osteoblasts will continue to secrete matrix until they can't anymore because they run out of space. And what's left are the osteoblasts that are stuck in their own secretion. Therefore, the cell stops secreting and becomes an osteocyte, which is a mature bone cell. An osteoclast breaks down bone, and the word for breaking down bone, real important, resorb or resorption. And here's an osteoclast that has the enzymes to break down bone because calcium might be needed elsewhere in the body. Compact bone is made up of osteons. Sometimes this is called the Haversian system, but typically we call them osteons. And an osteon is one structural unit of compact bone. You can see it's in a cylinder, and there's multiple layers with collagen fibers running in opposite directions in each layer. There's a central canal that has blood vessels and nerves running through each osteon. Here we're looking at a piece of diathesis, and we can see the compact bone on the outside with the spongy bone in the interior. It's an area of diathesis where I guess a little spongy bone is located, even though it's not showing it here much in the picture. In the compact bone, we see multiple osteons, these circular units. One is pulled out for us so we can see the lamellae. If we look at one osteon and enlarge it here, or a piece of one, we can see the central canal with the artery and veins. We can see the different layers, or lamella. Between layers, we have these little caves, which we call lacuna. In each lacuna is a bone cell, which is an osteocyte. Bone cells can communicate with other bone cells through these little tiny canals that look like cracks. Those are called canaliculi. I'm looking for that label, but it'll be on another slide. Another important note on this slide that you'll see written up for you further in this video is we've established that these are lamella in the osteon, which means layers. You can see the different lamella in each osteon. You'll also have layers or lamella running around the entire perimeter of the compact bone. We call that lamella circumferential lamella because it's running around the circumference. Then you have layers of bone laid down in between osteons. We call that lamella interstitial lamella. I don't see that labeled here, but you'll see that term written up for you further on in this video, interstitial lamella. We established that inside each osteon we have a central canal, and we can see those central canals all running parallel with each other. There's canals that run perpendicular to the central canal. We call those perforating canals or Volkmann's canals. Here's the write-up for circumferential lamella that runs around the circumference of compact bone. Here's the write-up for interstitial lamella, which are layers of bone, compact bone, in between osteons. And here's the write-up for what I mentioned earlier, canaliculi. These are tiny little canals connecting one lamella to another lamella so the osteons can be in contact with each other. I've used this term a couple of times, but here is the description of it. Trabeculae, which looks like spicules, this is spongy bone. It's the structure of spongy bone itself That's what trabeculae is. There's no osteons in spongy bone. The bone looks rather random. However, bone is laid out along stress lines, so it's actually not random. Red bone marrow may exist in spongy bone, although it's not shown here. Spongy bone is this entire tissue, including the trabeculae, the bone part, and then all the space with red bone marrow if it exists.